What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Hunger in the Dark and going over a pretty good route containing all the books and more than enough items that you'll need to beat this map on any difficulty. So you start off here, you find this first little tunnel down to the left. There's usually a chance for some items, bombs, maybe some ammo. You go straight out and bang it to the right over there. Behind this cart, there's a little chest. Usually has a potion, maybe some ammo, something you can use. Head back, follow the path to the front, stay to the left side, and you see that little wooden wall there, and there's usually some potions back here. Not always, but sometimes. If you get a horde before this drop down, make sure not to go down. Stay up there and fight the horde, as you do more damage to enemies when they're in a climbing animation. Quick as you can, make your way forward to the left. There's this little room, usually has some healing. Go out that front door, continue down the left side path, usually more items there. When you reach this railroad, make a left, and if you have a horde by this point, hold here, because there's usually a lot of items in this room. Bombs, healing, ammo, everything you ever need. Unless you can't get attacked from behind. This is a really good spot to hold. Just make sure you get gas rats and blightstormers before they murder you. Proceed to the left, and this is kind of the main first area. Big, kind of wide open cavern. Lots of ambient enemies. This is also where we're going to find the first tome. Be careful, because this is also a monster spawn point. It is very likely that you're either going to get a chaos spawn of chaos, or a bile troll here. You will not be getting... I don't think you get Skaven enemies here. You might have a chance for it. You're going to get some kind of monster here. Proceed all the way down here. Make that left and a right, and that's the first tome right there for you. Usually next to a couple of healing items. No biggie. I always like to check over here to the right. There's usually at least an enemy. Sometimes, I think there's items over there sometimes. Proceed back out of where you came, and to the right there is actually a bomb. Sometimes I jump past it, but... And then straight ahead, that med pack. From there, make a beeline right for this chest, as there is usually some stuff in there. And if you have a horde by this point, make sure not to drop down. Unless you're with your team. When you reach the cart, yeah, you gotta push it, and it moves real slow, and you gotta stand with it. So it kind of sucks if you're alone. You have some time to kill. Maybe check your phone. Maybe don't. You might die because there's an assassin right there. Horde usually spawns when you're pushing the cart. As you can see, we're about to get one right here. Specials will come over these little wooden gates, so make sure to just, if you hear a special, check those, because that's probably where they're coming from, but they do come from the back sometimes. To proceed with this map, you need to take 3 of these barrels and put them in the cart. There's always one right there in the front. The rest of the spawns, there's so many fixed spawn points, but they're not always the same, so wherever there's 2, whatever side it has 2 barrels on, you're going to go to that side, and you're going to grab them. But if there's a horde, you're gonna have to deal with that. I would avoid wasting time kind of looking around this area for items, as I don't think there are any, actually. A lot of people, I'll catch them just kind of running around like, oh, what's back here? There's nothing back there. Get the barrels, pull the lever, you're on to the next area. Now this area is kind of a long railroad tie looking cave system, but it's where we're going to get the second grim, towards the end of it. Just remember, when you're following that cart, keep an eye at those drop points above you, as enemies will drop down. Always head to the left here, there's usually items. Usually more items on the left than there is on the right, if there are any on the right at all. You can get a monster here as well, so keep an eye out for that. To get the Grim, you'll need that barrel. And you have to take it all the way over here to the right. Throw it at this wooden fence wall thing. Wait for it to blow up. Proceed on back. You'll see a ladder. Climb it. And straight back where that little triangle is your Grim. First Grim of the map. So at this point you should have 1 tome and 1 Grim. And if you don't get a monster here, you will probably get a patrol. So just keep an eye out for that. If by chance you happen to blow up that first barrel, there is always a second one right here, usually next to some kind of an item. A lot of people freak out, like, oh no, I destroyed the barrel. It doesn't matter. You can also climb back up here and kind of loot around. There's ammo, bombs, sometimes some healing, potions, anything you can really imagine. There's a chest here. Always open every chest you find. You have a chance for a loot die from opening any chest. Once you've gotten your Grim and your sufficient amount of loot, head to the drop down. Like I said, if you have a horde, drop downs are your friend, man. Don't drop until that horde's over. But this next part is where stuff kind of gets real. It gets really dark here. So I recommend either staying with the cart. Actually, that's all I really recommend. Stay with the cart. So this next part is where it gets really, really dark. There is a way to counter this in your settings by changing ambient light quality to low instead of high. It only works on this map, but it makes it a lot easier to see. I don't know why it doesn't work on like the Blight Reaper or something like that. But if you look to the left there, there's usually ammo. Sometimes there's some healing by where the cart stops. Pull the lever, continue on. Keep an eye out for specials. Know where your barrels are. Continue on, and to the left here, there's usually a little cave with the potion in it. Sometimes a healing. And this next area is where we're going to get the second tome. It's right in this little chest here, or this little crate, I guess. At this point, we have 2 tomes and 1 Grim. At this point, it's very possible that you could have triggered a monster spawn. I think you'll know. So you go up here. Push the cart again, takes some time. Sometimes there's a horde already trying to attack you. If not, keep an eye out and an ear out for those specials. When you reach the top of the hill, it's very possible, actually quite more like it's likely, that you'll get a horde. If you're playing with bots, keep an eye out. They're not very smart. The next part of this map is a kind of very thin little railroad tie area. You can drop down here, and sometimes there's a potion, a healing on either side. You'll see a floor actually below the one you're standing on. You don't want to drop down to that. That is a trap, as you will be hanging off the ledge if you jump onto it. Once you reach this hill, the cart kind of runs through this door and flies off the fucking ledge, and you don't have to push it for a little bit. I always like to go right down to this chest as fast as possible, get my potential loot die, and sometimes there's an item in there. This next area is where we're going to get the second Grim. There's also some healing in this kind of main chamber, but you go up here, duck under this little rock, you'll see a ladder, climb it. Go up here, I like to hop right on that little rock, jump right to that other one, and turn right, and there's your Grim. A lot of people will struggle with that jump, and a lot of people will also just jump off and they'll lose health, but buy the ammo, there's this little platform, jump right there, and then jump back down. You won't lose any health, and if you're a range class, you'll have full ammo. Next drop down, take it down. I always like to kind of stick to the right in this next part. There's usually some items right there. And sometimes there's an ammo crate on the right side, as well as some healing. And this is where we're going to get the third tome. You hop up on this little rock, you do your jump, and it's right up there. At this point, you should have all the books. You can kind of hop over here and drop down. There's usually like a potion or healing or something. I had to get that shot because I was a slayer. If you have bots, clearly they can't get out of there. While you're getting this tome, you will probably get another horde coming at you. I recommend getting to those, that's this little corner over here. There's usually an item to the left right there. But getting around these little stalactites or whatever is usually a pretty safe bet and funnels up the horde, depending on how long they live. And there's two ways to go here. The right is the way to go. There's usually some ambience to the left. So you make a left here, and boom, healing, ammo, everything you could need before the final end event. And would you look at that, we found our cart again. So you gotta push this cart all the way to the little altar, and up there to the left. Enemies will drop down, specials will spawn. You gotta be on your toes, looking behind you, looking around, tagging things. It's very important. The best way to do this part is honestly just to stick with the cart, because that's the name of the game in Hunger in the Dark. Your team, generally, with this part, will probably also do the same thing, stick to the cart. If you're running off on your own, well, you risk dying alone and having your team not being able to save you. So it's better to stick together, stronger in numbers, you know? Rats will spawn out of that little hole, they'll climb up on the side of the ledge here. Sometimes a fire rat will spawn where that final bile troll will come from. Just take him out. Sometimes he drops down. The elf, sometimes we'll need your help. So you push the cart to this little altar, and to summon the bile troll, when it's time, time to feed him, you ring the dinner bell. Definitely don't ring it until your team's ready, though. Apparently, you can get a loot rat here. Don't ask why I threw that grim, I have no idea. It's not necessary. Don't throw a grim unless it's absolutely necessary. But yeah, you kill the bile troll. It's usually pretty easy. I think there's a challenge if you do it under like 10 seconds or something. On the bridge, you get some kind of achievement. Keep an eye out for specials. You make your way over here. You can watch all these losers blow up. This wooden gate will open and you're off and running to the portal. Congratulations, you've beaten the map. Hopefully with all the books, and you haven't thrown a grim for no reason, like my dumbass did. Race to the portal and boom, you're done. If you guys liked this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, throw a like on this video, and hey, join my Discord if you want. We got lots of people in there, nearly 500 people. We got some regulars that always play the game. You know, come on, have a good time with us. It's a lot of fun. Till next time.